can go ahead and get started. All right, so just a couple of like event etiquette points that I would love to share with you all. If you have questions, share them on the chat. Our team will make sure to answer as we move forward, and then join the discussion. You can use the chat also to just continue the conversation, to share any insights that you would like. And then for whatever reason, if something happens that you forgot a step or you were a little like, I know like we're all multitaskers, we're doing multiple things, we're dealing with kids, coworkers, and so on. Don't worry, we're going to record everything and we're going to share the recording with you afterwards. All we ask is that to keep yourself muted. We will have a live Q&A at the end, and then that will be a great opportunity to ask your questions, as well as us being able to level up some of the questions you already asked on the chat. So again, if we can just ask all of y'all to make sure you're on mute, that way we can go ahead and move forward, and let's get this party started. All right, so the agenda really quickly, we're gonna have some introductions. It's mostly me introducing, and also with our community expert, Willem, who joined us, and he's here from the Netherlands, and I'll explain a little bit more of why his role as a community expert is incredibly important to us. Then we'll get started with Now Learning, and then we'll have a live Q&A at the end. Very quick, very seamless, and a great opportunity to connect and learn more about what we're doing here. So with that, quick map. So this shows more on a holistic level of why we're here and what our intention is. So I don't know if many of you have already heard about RiseUp. You probably have seen it, and that's probably one of the reasons you're here. So RiseUp is our mission, what we consider our mission. And what that means is that we are really focusing on providing opportunities and career resources and enablement for folks to build their career on ServiceNow. What that means is that we have a variety of career journeys that you could learn from technical to non-technical areas that help you get skilled up, so that way you can become a ServiceNow practitioner and be able to support multiple customers that we have, ranging from Fortune 500 companies to a variety of startups to our partners. And our partners are very important in our ecosystem, and a lot of them you may know as well, and we can go into that a bit later. But I would love to share that RiseUp is supported by two areas, and we have a wealth of support within our entire ecosystem. But two areas that are really going to help you navigate this journey is Now Learning, which is our learning hub. This is your one-stop shop for everything that's going to help you get through the learning process. From career journeys, from free courses, including over 600 self-paced courses. You are able to get credentialed and certified. That way you can get started and start implementing the skills that you learn, as well as the skills you already have, and start being able to apply to a variety of ServiceNow practitioner jobs that are hosted across the globe. And then we have our community. This is where you're going to find your people. This is where folks from different experiences, different industries, different interests, and just a variety of product, solution, and just general conversations where you can go in and ask questions on our forums. You can be able to read a variety of blogs. You can be able to attend events like this and continue to learn from your peers. So really great space, and they all work together. So with that said, I would love to now explain a little bit more about an additional element of community that I hold very near and dear to my heart, and those are our community experts. We have two programs. We have our Rising Stars and our MVPs. And both of them are considered our top contributors. These are folks that are very passionate about helping others and are supporting the community both in our online platform as well as externally in podcasts and events. They're hosting developer meetups, you name it. They are invested in sharing their expertise with others. And I have the privilege of being able to welcome one of our top MVPs, Willem, who is here with us, joining from the Netherlands. And so I'm going to go ahead and find him on here and pin him to our, if I can actually do multiple things all at once. There we go. Thank you so much, Willem, for being here with us. And I am just super excited. I'm going to have you unmute yourself for a little bit. And then, so I have a couple questions for you.
Mhm.
Being an MVP, you have already shown your level of expertise and investment towards educating and enabling other people. You're also a mentor. You have a wealth of experience. But one question that I have for you is, why did you decide to build your career with ServiceNow, and how has that impacted you both professionally and personally?
Yeah, so to start at the beginning, when I was in school, I wasn't sure that I wanted to be in IT. So let that also be a clear signal. If you're not sure is IT for me, I had that same doubt. Jumping ahead, it's now been 10 years that I'm working in IT. But it could have gone either way. I was hesitating between IT and art school, so totally different. Um, and I made the decision to go into IT. Um, that gradually came to play because I first thought, okay, what is this JavaScript that I hear about? And just did a free course. Do I like it? Try it out. Basically, dip my toe into IT, and from there on, I realized, okay, there is a creative part in this as well. There's a business part, and I like the combination of those two. So that's basically gradually how I rolled into that. Started in IT auditing, and then 8 years ago, make the jump from IT auditing to ServiceNow. And in terms of, you also asked about the impact on my life.
Yeah.
I think having a workplace where you can be creative and see the result of that creativity, I think that is, yeah, very much something that you also take into the impact in your life.
Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. I know a lot of folks are probably going to ask more questions, and we'll have that during our live Q&A. I think another question I have for you, because we have a variety of folks that are both technical and non-technical here, and what advice would you give someone that is looking to switch technologies, that already have a technological background? And then also, what advice would you give to someone that has no experience or no technology in their background, especially when it comes to ServiceNow and the opportunities it provides?
Yeah, good question. I think it's a bit of a cliche, yeah, but don't underestimate what you have to bring to the table. I see also, if I look at my colleagues, at the customers, people that have no IT background or a different IT background have a different way of looking at it. If we all would look at things the same thing, we all would produce the same results. So things will get better. To give a bit more body to that cliche, something to look into, I also tell my mentee is the T-shaped model, where you see a sort of foundational knowledge that I think you can bring to the table, and then the depth knowledge of, in this case, in ServiceNow, that is something that you can develop. Selina already showed the tools that community offers, now learning, so that ServiceNow knowledge, start small and it will build.
Awesome. That's incredible advice, and it inspires me to be like, okay, I need to go and learn more. But I love that team model too, because that's really important, especially for folks that feel like, can my skills actually add, or are they transferable? Or if I am an art teacher, or I am already involved with technology, understanding that those foundational elements are incredibly important for you to be able to transition into any new journey. So, thank you so much for providing that, and we will be able to ask more questions during our live Q&A. But what I'd like to do is go ahead and move on to, let's get you started with the first step. And I'd love to get a good pulse on where people are already within our ecosystem. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And thanks, Willem. We'll definitely bring you back in the live Q&A. Okay, so just really quickly, I'm going to stop sharing. I would love to see faces and just even emoji hands if that's fine. But how many of you already are in the technical space? Maybe you can just show your little emoji hand. You can find that at the very bottom where it says reactions. All right, we've got a few. Okay. And then how many of you are completely brand new? We could do a different emoji for that. How about like a surprise face or something? I don't know. Completely brand new. You're like, I have no technology background, nothing. I'm completely looking for, okay, I see one. All right, so we have maybe right in the middle. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna help. I have one more question for you, and then we're gonna jump in and I'm gonna get us all started. But really quickly, how many of you have already created your ServiceNow ID by a show of hands? Okay, not many. Okay, great. So here's what we're gonna do. Okay, we've got a few. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen once again, and we are gonna go back into this space, and I'm going to take you into something different. One sec. All right, so if y'all head to the link that is going to be pinned or shared on the chat, I think Rose already shared it up at the top. But if you go into nowlearning.servicenow.com, it's going to take you to the homepage for Now Learning. What we're going to do is we're going to go up to where it says sign up. And if you see sign up here, and y'all can see my screen, right? Cool. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and just take a minute, go ahead and sign up. And for the folks that have already done that, you don't even need to worry about it. What I am going to ask for the folks that are already signed up, go ahead and it should have already shown you a different Now Learning space. So go ahead and sign in. And for the folks that have already done this, what will happen is you'll receive an email confirmation and you can jump into your email that you provided and that will get you started. So aside from that, what we're going to do is we're going to go into what it would actually look like once you are signed up. Now, when you jump into Now Learning after you've created your profile and after you've actually signed in, you're going to find this experience. And you're going to find career journeys, you're going to find recommended learning, you're going to find a variety of other areas to concentrate on, and it'll also give you an overview of where you exist in your learning experience and path. So as you know right here, it makes me look like I'm an underachiever, but what it is it's a brand new one, so give me some credit. But what I'd love to focus on is the career journey. So we're going to jump into the system admin career journey so you can take a look on how this looks like. When we get in here, it's going to give you an overview of the paths that you can take as a system admin, as well as key tips and tricks that are really going to be helpful as you navigate this career journey. Then it talks about levels. And the great thing about levels is that you're going to be able to also see a variety of things, including ways to get involved outside of just Now Learning. So Kim is actually on the phone with us, or on the call with us, and she is representing Now Learning. Did a phenomenal job in being able to support this effort. And so you can see these areas that you can actually come in and be able to get started. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the Welcome to ServiceNow course. That is the required space and probably the easiest and most effective place to get your navigation or your journey, to begin your navigation journey. If I can make sentences, I will be better, I promise. Anyways, Welcome to ServiceNow is a really great place to start, to understand the platform, to understand what ServiceNow or what makes ServiceNow the organization and the platform that it is. So you'll jump in here, you'll be able to see what you need to do. It'll actually say get started. So you'll say get started with the course. I'm going to exit the course right now so you can kind of see what it looks like as you continue your path. You'll come in and you'll be able to see the modules here on the left. And there's a variety of lessons that are going to help you get to the step that you need to to feel more confident, to feel more well versed around what ServiceNow does and the platform it provides. The best part about it, which for folks that are thinking about switching technologies and folks that are very, I'm a very hands-on individual, so I need to be able to touch and feel and experience something. So the great part about that is that we have an instance. Consider, a great place to come in and be able to actually test, be able to work in our platform. It's a sandbox where you can go ahead and add certain things and really be able to experience it firsthand. So highly recommend you get in here, start working with it, start having those questions, and those questions that start populating, make sure that you come to the community, ask us. Willem and all the other MVPs and rising stars that we have there are absolutely in hand and ready to help support, as well as our other over 500,000 people that are in this community to support you. So aside from that, just one quick tip is you can take the quizzes if for whatever reason I'm not always great with quizzes, but you can retake it and retake it again. So don't get discouraged. Make sure that you take your time and go at your pace, but don't feel defeated. It's there for a reason, and it's there for you to continue learning. So with that said, this is the first two steps. Get yourself signed up with your ServiceNow ID. Come through Now Learning. Come back to the career journey and pick a career journey. And if you don't want to pick a career journey because you're not ready yet, you want to learn more, you can jump into the search bar and be able to put welcome to ServiceNow. So at least you can get started with understanding what the ServiceNow platform offers, and then get yourself into the instance so you can start playing around with the tool. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing because I know that there are a lot of really great questions that I'm seeing popping up, and also folks just chatting away. So by share of hands, how many of you feel a little bit more like, okay, I know what the first step is, so I can get started? Share of hands, thumbs up. Cool. All right. Fantastic. Yay, this makes me so happy. All right, are we ready for Q&A? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna jump on the chat and I'm gonna have Rose come in with me because she is my my partner in crime when it comes to this event, as well as she is gonna help me facilitate much better than I can do. But all right, so let's see.
Well, being the partner in crime, I feel like I get to ask the first question. Yes. And this is my first time meeting the guests too, so I'm super excited. But really quick, are we doing the classroom?
Oh yeah, I forgot the full immersion experience. So
in order to ask my question, I need a certain environment.
So you're gonna have to do it because you are.
Oh, I have never done it before.
So if you go to view and then immersive.
Ah, okay. I get to pick it. All right. Ready, guys? Yeah.
If you haven't experienced this on Zoom, it is an offered experience, which makes it feel like we're in a classroom, which this is really cool.
So and I come from a non-technical background. Possibly the furthest thing from math and science were my absolute worst subjects. And I kind of know what a developer does or an engineering does. And by kind of, I mean a very broad sense of they do things that I cannot do. But when I came across your title, Willem, it said architect. And the only architect that I know involves building buildings. And I don't know exactly what an architect does within a tech space. So would you be able to give a little bit more explanation of what does an architect do? Do you need, and is it technical, non-technical? What do you do? Do you build stuff?
Yeah, good question. So is it technical or non-technical? I think that's the typical ServiceNow answer is yes. So as an architect, usually what you see is they are people that already work with ServiceNow for quite some time and have a good overview of both business, so what's going on in enterprises, what do they need, how can the work flow, and then also having the technical knowledge to build the things, know which capabilities ServiceNow offers, and then combining that. If I translate that to how Platformation, the company I work with, visualizes that, you have different personas. So we have technical architects focusing more on technical. Then you have platform architects and enterprise architects. So platform right in the middle, and then enterprise architect, it says it more on the enterprise or more on the strategic or business level.
Very cool. And I know I was very similar. I was like, I don't understand what an architect. So that gives me like such a better perspective on the opportunities in this role, as there's multiple roles. And I know with that, Kim, we have a variety of career journeys that also offer multiple areas of concentration, like our system admin, there are different levels, developers, there are different levels. Can you speak a little bit about the opportunity of these career journeys and figuring out where you exist in each space?
Sure. So we just recently launched with 5 career journeys. So system administrator, application developer, implementer, and then business process analyst, and our technical project manager. So if you're really trying to decide which journey might be the best for you, which one you want to enroll, and you're not very familiar with them, my recommendation would be to go look at each one of those pages. And at the very top, there's a video that's called A Day in the Life of. And if you watch that, it really maps out like, what does a typical day look like for somebody? We break it down hour by hour, what types of meetings you're involved in, who you're working with, what types of problems are you solving? But then it also talks a little bit about the skill set that you need to have for that career. So that would be a great place to start if you're not sure what, which one would be the best for you.
Awesome. And can you explain a little bit of what an implementer is?
Yeah, so I often give the example, and Willem, please feel free to jump in if you have more to add to this too, but I often give the example of, a company says, hey, we want to start using ServiceNow, right? And that company doesn't know how to use it. They need people to actually go and help them figure out how to make the system work for them. So that implementer is going to come in and work with that organization and figure out, well, what are your current processes? And how do we make these, or how do we automate these to be better using the ServiceNow platform? So that's typically what I say when I'm talking to people. But Willem, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, no, totally. So there you also see, as an implementer, you can be more on the business side, so understanding what the customer wants, maybe not the technical or the other way around. So also in that role, you have that flexibility, but it's indeed all about what the customer wants to do, and how you can best do that in ServiceNow, and really helping them get the most out of ServiceNow. Yeah.
Awesome. I know, Adam, you have a question.
And we have another one on the chat too.
Awesome.
Yep. Hi. It's morning where I am. Good morning, all. So I'm just still trying to wrap my head around what ServiceNow does. I'm doing some Googling. I know ServiceNow from my company used it for our help desk tickets. Am I correct that ServiceNow is primarily a business-to-business product where you are building workflow solutions for other businesses, or is there a business to consumer side of ServiceNow where there's applications for end customers?
Yeah, I'm actually going to let Willem talk to you about it, because he has the experience from, managing and helping customers. So yeah, go for it.
Yeah, sure. So in this case, and I like to answer to both suggestions that you did. Both is yes. So it's both a ticketing system. So if we look at the beginning of ServiceNow, it really started off that way. But I've been working for it for 8 years, but I think it's around for way more than that. It grew into what we call an more of an enterprise service management system. That also means, of course, business to business, but also business to consumer. So you see customer service management. If you reach out to a service desk, that can also be ServiceNow that runs behind that. What we like to say, it's really a platform that helps make workflow. So there's people working on something that impacts has something, almost anything you can imagine that has to do with that work, you can make workflow with ServiceNow.
Thank
Did
you.
that help, Adam?
Yes.
All right, right on. And then we had another one in the chat.
Ruma, and I can read it out. So I'm interested in breaking into the pre-sale solutions consultant. What would be the best journey or path to start with? So that's part one. And is it possible to go from a solutions consultant to a solutions architect throughout your career? And I think maybe the first part is Kim, or maybe it's also both to Kim and Willem. What classes to take for solutions consultant, what career path? And then is it possible to transition from a solutions consultant to an architect? Either one of you want to take up this answer?
Yeah, sure. I think a good start is what Selena already showed. So start with the fundamental knowledge of ServiceNow. There's a really elaborate fundamentals course, but also on Now Learning, there are sales-specific courses you can accomplish. So those paths, also for sales-specific roles, are very interesting. It gives you a high level trainings of what is there. We talked about being an enterprise service platform, so really big. And those sales courses, those give you a really good insight what is there. Then solution architect. Yeah, it really depends on the company where you are, what kind of architects, how they call them. But definitely, if you go in one route, at least that's my experience in the ServiceNow world, that doesn't mean you have to stick with that. So if you start off as a solution consultant, if I look around the people that I know, I see a lot of those switches that they go into one direction and they feel like, oh, I'm more solution architect than a solution consultant. That can be absolutely a path that either within the same company or different companies within the ecosystem you can make.
Great. Thank you so much, Willem. You have you are like a wealth of knowledge. Like, this is why we have you here. I know we have another question. I think Navjad, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I saw that your hand was up. Wanted to give you
yeah, hello everyone. I just wanted to know, I think he already answered the question, but being I'm from IT background and I have some service desk experience with ticketing, but I was trying to get something into it, to develop or to be an architect or an administrator kind of work or infrastructure, but I don't know where to start my career. So should I be a developer first and then move towards admin, or do you have to be admin and there's a separation of duties basically?
I can at least maybe add to that from my own experience. So I think indeed it comes down to, again, that if you go one direction, you're not stuck into that. My preference that I also advise people joining our company fresh out of school, but also the people I mentor, is think about that T-shaped model. So should you go developer or maybe more sales or at a business side? I think in order to become a well-rounded, either a consultant or somebody that adds value to the company that you work, I would say follow some courses in development. See if you like that. Do you want to deep dive or just have that fundamental knowledge? The same goes on the business side. So go into Now Learning, dip your toe in those courses, and see what you like. And really dive into the topics that you like. Don't focus too much on the end goal. From either direction, if you do what you are passionate about and really deep dive in those topics, there's always a path that a company can provide you to, either within the same company or different companies, to grow into an architect or management or those kind of roles, as long as you develop yourself well-rounded and focus on the things you like.
Awesome. I think.
And one last question. The second part of the question is, what is the job market like? For example, if you get trained, like there is so many things going around, you don't know which career to choose. So what do you think of the job market, and if you can get any help in placement, job placement?
Yeah, I think if I can answer that one as well.
Yeah.
I think because there the community is really powerful. So if you have trouble, like the learning path, there's the official ones, figuring that out, but also the job market. The community also has the Slack channel with specifically this. If you go to the community forum, there's also a topic on the jobs where people post that. So there are a lot of people willing to help you either find a job or get you to the point that you are ready for that job. So if you have a certain aim, you want to be developer, architect, there's a lot of people willing to help and say, okay, you're coming from here and you need to go there. These are the steps that you can take. And I also shared it in the chat. You can also find a buddy, a mentor, or even a group of people that you also don't have to take that path alone.
Yes. I
Okay,
love
thank
that.
you.
And thank you
you're
so
welcome.
much, Willem. And such great questions. Honestly, I think we're all always thinking about like how do we move our career forward, and I think that's a perfect place for us to stop the event, because I know we're past time and I want to be diligent of everyone's time. If we weren't able to get to your question, we will be sharing it on the event page. I'm going to share my screen here in a sec so you can grab that QR code, but we'll transition all the questions on that page, and we'll also provide the answers based on that, everything that was provided, and also share the recording of the event, so then that way you all can come back to it and you know, if, in case there was something that you missed. But thank you again. Thank you to our special guest Willem for being here and sharing his expertise, for our wonderful teams, Kim and Rose and Dee, for being here during this event. And again, thank you each and every one of you for, you know, betting on yourselves, as well as learning a little bit more about ServiceNow and the opportunities that we provide. So if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'd be happy to discuss things in further detail. So thank you again, and let me share my screen really quick so you can grab that, because I know that is incredibly important. So if, I don't know if I'm sharing my screen. Am I sharing it? No, probably not.
Yes, you
Yeah,
are.
we can see
I am?
the
Okay.
slide deck.
There we go. Okay, there it is. I am pretty good with technology, but sometimes, yeah. Here we go. That's probably better. So please grab the QR code. We will be providing a follow-up email with all the things that you need anyways. So keep an eye out for that, as well as the recording and a link to a survey. Let us know how we did, so we can continue to provide the best experience for you all. Thank you again, everyone, and we look forward to having more of these. And good luck with your journey. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Willem.
Yeah, thank you as well.